Hi everyone and welcome to our short discussion about inside sales. My name is Paulus Perkkiö. I'm coming from Seidat. Seidat is a company which has developed a presentation platform which is very much used in inside sales. And I have now here with Taavi. Welcome, Taavi.
Thank you so much, and glad to be here. Thanks for inviting me to this webinar. So my name is Taavi. I'm from a company called Trustmary. Our company is basically focused on helping companies to use recommendations in their own sales and marketing, and we've been doing quite effective remote sales for the past 3 years.
Okay. And your role in your company is?
I'm one of the founding partners of the company.
Yes. So if we start to discuss about inside sales, it's a very hot topic at the moment, and time is money. Okay, what is the most important message to our audience about inside sales? Why and how?
In my opinion, especially in these types of times, it's super important for all companies to continue active sales, continue actively helping their clients, and not stop doing sales, and not stop helping companies. It's possible to do sales even in these days with the corona and things like that. I think, in my opinion, that's the most important thing.
Yeah. How about in your company? What kind of terms you are using if you are discussing about? Is it inside sales, virtual sales, remote sales? What is it all about?
I think we're using maybe all of those terms and none of those at the same time. So in my opinion, sales is sales, and it doesn't matter how you're doing it. Are you just calling and doing telemarketing, or are you having face-to-face meetings with clients?
Okay. Now, then, do you have any difference between telemarketing and virtual sales or remote sales?
Do we have any difference?
Yeah.
Well, basically, our sales process itself, it's quite straightforward. These days, we do most of our, I think like over 90% of our sales meetings are done remotely.
Okay.
And usually we book the meeting via phone. Then we have the sales meeting remotely. Usually we use Google Hangouts for the meeting. It's important to have the video in a meeting, and then we have sales presentation tool. Personally, we're using Seidat as the tool.
Yeah.
And we have the meeting, send a proposal, agree on a follow-up meeting, and then we try to close the deal.
Yeah. And if you are not using remote sales process, is there any differences when you have a face-to-face meetings? Or are you following same process actually, but the meeting is only face-to-face?
Yeah, the process itself, it's actually quite similar. We have similar kinds of steps in both face-to-face meetings and remote meetings. But of course, there are some differences. Many companies think that it's more difficult to gain trust in video meetings, and that actually might be true. It might be a bit more difficult to gain trust remotely. But usually our process, if we're talking about the sales meeting itself, it's quite similar. We open the first of all, of course, when we book the meeting, we send calendar invite for the client. The calendar invite has the agenda for the meetings and the link to Google Hangouts. When the meeting starts, we both join the meeting. I highly recommend to use video, because then you're able to see the client and they're able to see you. First, we have the regular small talk, chit chat in the beginning, discuss about the weather, discuss about the holiday plans, etc. It's important also to involve the client in the beginning, let them tell about their history, let them tell about their background, their responsibilities. That's actually super important. You have to know what's their responsibility, what kind of decisions they're able to make. Short intro and an agenda.
I think that it is small talk part when both parts are introducing themselves. It's something what is typically people make many mistakes. Especially in inside sales process, because they are thinking that no, it's not so comfortable to discuss about those things because you have so big distance.
I totally agree, but it's as you mentioned, it's actually it's probably even more important to discuss about the bit about the personal stuff and the responsibilities and the history of your client. Then we basically in the sales meeting itself, we go through the agenda as I mentioned. Then we need to, of course, find out if the client really has a problem, if there is something that we might be able to help them with. So that's why we need to have a quite thorough discussion in the beginning to be able to find the problem. When we are able to find the problem, we have to be able to make the customer understand how big the problem is.
Can you describe shortly what kind of problems your customers typically have?
Yeah, absolutely. Because we're focusing on helping our clients to get referrals, to get references from their clients. So usually the problems are involved somehow in their marketing or in their sales. So typical problem might be that for a reason or another, our client is unable to get trust from their prospect. Because these days, the fact is that most of the people don't believe in what the companies are saying. And that's mainly because companies in similar fields tend to say quite similar things about themselves. But the table turns entirely when you let your real customers tell their story. So, in my opinion, that's probably one of the main things. They might struggle in closing the deals. They might struggle with their website conversion, their web shop conversion rates. Usually those are the types of things that we definitely are able to help with.
But I noticed that when you are talking about the problems, they are actually business problems. They are not problems of sales or marketing. They are business problems. How to make more deals.
Exactly. And ultimately, I think that the problem itself, usually it actually is quite fundamental problem. If the company needs some kind of help in solving it, and usually the problem it needs to be kind of big, because if it's not big enough, there's no point of of doing anything with it.
Yeah, I totally agree. Because, for example, our situation at the moment is that our tool is perfect tool for remote sales, and that's why it's easy to solve problems which our customers really have. But earlier, when our customers were thinking about if they should have inside sales process or not, our tool was not that strong at all.
Yeah.
Because handling of presentations, managing them, and making it easy to create perfect presentations, it's not that important. It's not a big business problem. But if you don't have tools to make inside sales, it's really big problem today.
Yeah, I agree with you totally. Because in my opinion, most of the companies are able to do meetings remotely if they really want to. So usually, if there's a will, there is a way to make it happen. And I know personally, because I've also done this myself. So making excuses is super easy, and it's super easy to tell yourself that it's impossible for us to make remote meetings. It's impossible for us to sell remotely. And we thought about it when we started in the beginning. We started in May 2016, and in the beginning we were only selling face-to-face. I personally drove across Finland tens of thousands of kilometers.
It's same for me. I have driven so much in Finland.
Yeah, exactly. And I also thought that it's impossible, or at least super difficult for us to sell remotely, that it's difficult to gain trust. But when we started to do sales remotely, we've been able to get a lot more meetings. It's easier to get meetings when you're booking remote meetings. It's easier to attend those meetings. You can easily have, your salespeople can easily have 5 video meetings per day. That's a no-brainer. But it's super difficult to have 5 face-to-face meetings, for example, in larger metropolitan area. So it saves a lot of time. You're able to have more meetings, and you're able to use your time more wisely.
Okay. Now we have discussed quite a lot about introduction part of the meeting, and then problem definition, need mapping. How will you continue the meeting after the problem has been found?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. When we have agreed with, and this is important, you have to agree with the customer that you have a problem. Once you have found the problem and you have agreed that the problem is real and it's big enough, you're ready to be able to, you're ready to solve it. So basically, that's the time that you're able to demonstrate your tool, demonstrate your products, your services, and help your customer to understand how you're able to help them, how their life will be a lot easier when they start the cooperation with you. And that's extremely important part in the sales process. So you're going through with your client how exactly you're able to help them with their journey.
But it's very important to understand that without finding a problem which you can solve, there is no mean to introduce your products or services or solutions, because you don't solve anything.
Absolutely.
It's only presenting something.
Absolutely. I Totally agree. You have to have a problem.
Yeah, but if you are telling the more deeply about the process, when you tell that okay, we have a solution, do you tell that okay, you have this exact solution for that, or do you tell them that we can do this way or that way? Do you have several solutions, options like which you can discuss more deeply about with customer and make some choose is this better or do you prefer that?
Yeah, we have different ways in doing different types of things, but in my opinion, more important is that you have to, when you're presenting a solution for some problem, you have to have some kind of similar examples, because otherwise it's super difficult for the client to understand the real benefits of your solution, how they are able to gain from your products or your services. So if possible, I always try to show them references, some cases of similar industries, of similar types of people, similar types of products, so that it's easier for our clients to understand that, okay, if we have been, this is just an example, if we have been able to help, let's say, IT company, CEO of an IT company, we are probably able to help another CEO of another IT company. And that's one of the best ways to gain trust also in the end of the sales meeting.
Yeah. It's exactly the same thing in our business, that we are quite often showing some presentations which our customers which has been done using Seidat. Maybe our personnel has done them, but anyway, it tells them quite a lot more about our tool than only presenting our own sales presentation, which is only done for us.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then if we can have also some customer feedback there, then it will be much more effective.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, that's one of the reasons why personally I like Seidat's platform, is that it's possible to attach the videos, the reference videos, the reference cases in the tool. So basically, our prospect, our future client, is able to click and see any types of videos that we have done. They can just hit the link and they're able to see references by themselves.
Yeah, even in remote meeting.
Exactly, even in remote meeting. So you don't have to send different types of videos via email. You're just able to press play and see the videos.
Yeah. And if you try to use videos in meetings using screen sharing, it's
not working. Yeah, it's impossible. It's impossible basically to watch. The quality is so bad if you're trying to share your screen and watch video at the same time. It just simply doesn't work.
Yes. We are coming to end of this discussion, and now it's time to go to final discussion. What kind of benefits there are to have remote meetings?
There are a lot of benefits, but in my opinion, most important things are that you're able to save a lot of time. You're able to do a lot more basically in the same time. Remote meetings are super convenient, both to your salespeople, but also to your customer. Your customer is able to be in the summer cottage or basically anywhere in the world, and you're able to have the remote meeting. Time management, efficiency, those are, in my opinion, the most important things in remote meetings.
More meetings, easier to get them.
Exactly. That's also important. Easier to get the remote meetings.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we have any good what is our final message to our audience in these hard days? How to make more sales? What do you say?
Well, basically, in these difficult times, I strongly encourage all the companies to keep on selling, to keep on helping their clients, and also I strongly advise companies to keep on buying things. In these difficult times, basically, we need tools to do remote meetings. We need to have an open mind. We need to be able to eager to solve problems. As I mentioned in the beginning, most of the companies are able to do sales remotely if they really and truly want to, and that's mainly if the sales management and the salespeople are open-minded and they really want to try new things. It's definitely doable in almost any field of business, because basically all you need is a phone and a computer to be able to book the meetings, have the meetings. You need to have a good presentation tool, some software that you're able to have meetings via video, and then of course you need to have some kind of recommendations to be able to gain the trust in remote meetings.
Yeah, and I would say also what I have told to our salespeople is that please stop selling. Please start only solving the problems, and if you can solve those problems which your customers has, then they will buy.
Exactly.
Thank you, Taavi. This has been a great discussion.
Thank you, Paulus.
And I hope that this discussion would help people around the world to solve their problems with inside sales. Please ask us. I'm ready to discuss more deeply about the topic. Same with Taavi, and we want to help you.
Absolutely, happy to help all companies in these extremely difficult times.
Yes.
But sun is shining outside, and it's weekend coming maybe, and quite soon is summer.
Yeah.
It's time to make big deals and often.
All the best and all the best of luck to all the companies around the world.
Yes. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.